Hello, everybody. I'm still in the process of translating chapter 1, and I came across a section which made me have a powerful revelation that Saturn is not Satan, something I believed for a long, long time. Let me prove it to you. In the book, on page, on page 149, in the reference section, reference 1 is titled The Primitive Human Race of the Satyrs in Europe, Asia, and Africa. Now he talks about it throughout the chapter 1 text. I'll get to it when I actually read the book, the whole chapter. Should be able to do that in a day or two. I'm almost done with it. So here's what it says. Antique Roman and Greek literature transmits to us a long tradition of ethnographic stories and traditions in regards to a primitive race of the satyri. As such, Hesiod, around 850 AD, reminds us in one of his fragments of a species of humans that perform bad deeds named satyri and which were incapable of learning anything relating to humanity. Some Greek phrase and then where the reference is taken from. The figure of these satyri is revealed to us in general as human, yet wild and harsh, wild hair, blunt nose and thrown upwards, ears sharpened on the upper part, the neck with some sort of lumps, in the lower part of the spine having a lock of long hairs, which Tensushano believes is an exaggeration of the Greek authors. These satyri lived in the forests and mountains and are portrayed as passionate lovers of women. From an ethnic point of view, the figures of these satyri in old pictures are more of a Semitic character. Satyri of which Hesiod speaks were also called some word in Greek, which in an ethnologic sense is identical with Silvanus. In Romanian, Silha equals forest, or maybe that's Roman. I need to double check. In these places, writes Lucretius, his reference, once lived, as the neighbors say, satyri who with their sounds and games disrupted the quietness of the night. This human primitive race of the satyri is also remembered in the old geographical descriptions of Asia. In the eastern mountains of India, writes Pliny, in the land of the Katharkluzi, there is the satyri. These satyri are a very corrupted animal which runs and walks on either two legs or all four limbs. Their face is like a human's face. Still, because of their agility, they cannot be caught except when they are old or sick. Taran says the Koromanzi are a type of wild humans who don't know how to speak, their expressions being only horrible howls. Their bodies are hairy, they have blue eyes, and their canine teeth are very sharp. This retelling of Pliny about the satyri race from Asia is confirmed almost in full by the new discoveries of anthropology. The naturalist A. de Mortillet publishes in Revue Encyclopédique from the year 1895, page 73, under the title, some French title, a note about the cranium found on the Java island in 1891 by the military medic Eugene Dubois. Then there's a French quote. Anyways, the Roman geographer Pomponius Mela tells us that in the territory of Africa, near West Ethiopia, in between other barbarian and nomadic tribes, there is the satyri, who have no roofs nor stable homes, who barely resemble men and are half wild animals. Now, I'll continue the textual reference when I get back to reading chapter 1. For now, who are these satyrs? There is this video on YouTube called the Satyr or the Goat People and then Greek Mythology. I won't play the video, I just want to read the description. It says, the satyrs, the goat people from Greek mythology, are the companions of Dionysus, the god of wine, and they spent their time drinking, dancing, and chasing nymphs. The Italian, I think he meant Roman version, of the goat people known as satyr is the faun, while the Slavic version is the Elgeshki, an ancient mystery. Early artistic representations sometimes include horse-like legs, but in 6th century BC, black figure pottery, human legs are the most common. Mature satyrs are often depicted in Roman art with goat's horns, while juveniles are often shown with bony nubs on their foreheads. In the ancient mystery of Greek mythology, satyrs are known for being a class of lustful, drunken, woodland gods. As Dionysiac creatures, they are lovers of wine and women, and they are ready for every physical pleasure. They roam to the music of pipes, cymbals, castanets, and bagpipes, and they love to chase maenads or bacchantes, with whom they are obsessed and whom they often pursue. In the ancient mystery of the goat people in ancient Greek mythology, satyrs are deities of the woods and mountains. They are half human and half beast. They usually have a goat's tail, flanks, and hooves. But satyrs can come in other hybrid human-animal forms as well. Now in the book, one other important part stated is that they are always erect. They always have boners. Now, the short description refers to the god Pan. If you go to Wikipedia, here we have Pan and Daphnis. As you can see, horns, probably an erect penis, hairy legs, and hooves. This is Pan. So who is Pan? In ancient Greek religion and mythology, Pan is the god of the wild, shepherds and flocks, nature of mountain wilds, rustic music and impromptus, and companion of the nymphs. He has the hind quarters, legs, and horns of a goat in the same manner as a faun or satyr. See, there's a connection. Satyrs, oh, they're also known as Selenos. Interesting. With his homeland in rustic Arcadia, which is in Greece. He is also recognized as the god of fields, groves, wooded glens, and often affiliated with sex. Because of this, Pan is connected to fertility and the season of spring. The ancient Greeks also consider Pan to be the god of theatrical criticism, or the devil's advocate, right? The word panic ultimately derives from the god's name. In Roman religion and myth, Pan's counterpart is Faunus, a nature god who was the father of Bonadia. sometimes identified as Fauna. He was also closely associated with Silvanus. Nikolai Densushanu mentions the word Silvanus in the book. I think he said that satyri actually means Silvanus, Roman deity of woods and fields, protector of the forest. He especially presided over plantations and delighted in trees growing wild. Before I go to Faunus, I want to point out something else. These are some coins. You can't really see it here. Oh yeah. You can definitely see this though. Pan having sex with a goat. Statue from Villa of the Papyri, Herculaneum. Now another thing about the goat-headed Pan is a scene from the movie 300 of the Spartans. There is a brief section in that whole movie where you see the facial features of a goat man, if you will. Now, boom. The scene from the movie 300, it looks exactly like this one right here. And this is Francisco Goya, Witches Sabbath of Basque Mythology. I guess I gotta study Basque mythology too. Ugh. Anyways, identification of Satan. Pan's goatish image recalls conventional faun-like depictions of Satan. Although Christian use of Plutarch's story is of long standing, Houghton has argued that this specific association is modern and derives from Pan's popularity in Victorian and Edwardian neo-paganism. Medieval and early modern images of Satan tend by contrast to show generic semi-human monsters with horns, wings, and clawed feet. I'll leave that here for now. Let's go to Faunus. In ancient Roman religion, there it is, Faunus, and is it the same one? Oh no, it's not the same picture, it's another statue. See, erect, and horns, and the flute, and hooves, and hairy legs. In ancient Roman religion and myth, Faunus was the horned god of the forest, plains, and fields, where, when he made cattle fertile, he was called Inus. Embodies sexual intercourse. He came to be equated in literature with the Greek god Pan. Faunus was one of the oldest Roman deities, known as the deity, blah blah. According to the epic poet Virgil, he was the legendary king of the Latins. His shade was consulted as a goddess of prophecy under the name of Fatus, with oracles in the sacred grove of Tibur around the well Albunia on the Aventine Hill in ancient Rome itself. I'll cover the Aventine Hill in another video. It's related to the Capitoline Triads. It's interesting. Marcus Terentius Varro asserted that the oracular responses were given in Saturnian verse. Saturnian verse. Saturnian is usually related to Saturn, but clearly here it's not. Faunus revealed the future in dreams and voices that were communicated to those who came to sleep in his precincts, lying on the fleeces of sacrificed lambs. Sounds like brainwashing to me and some sort of frequency technology that polluted the minds of men and women just like 5G and the smart grid are doing today. W. Ward Fowler suggested that Faunus is identical with Favonius, wind gods. One of the Roman wind gods compared the anemoi. Faunus is probably of Indo-European origin, which he shares with the Vedic god Rudra. Interesting. What else, other than having sex with a goat? Later worship. Faunus was worshipped across the Roman Empire for many centuries. An example of this was a set of 32 4th century spoons found near Thetford in England in 1979. They had been engraved the name Faunus, and each had a different epithet after the god's name. The spoons also bore Christian symbols, and it has been suggested that these were initially Christian, but later taken and devoted to Faunus by pagans. The 4th century was a time of large-scale Christianization, and the discovery provides evidence that even during the decline of traditional Roman religion, the god Faunus was still worshipped. In Gaul, Faunus was identified with the Celtic Dusios. I hope you understand from this one paragraph that Faunus, or Pan, or a satyri, if you will, is related to introducing Christianity and part of the Roman Empire from the very beginning. Now, when we think of Satan, we think Satan, also known as the devil, an entity in the Abrahamic religions that seduces humans into sin or falsehood. Now, if you recall Pan and Faunus descriptions and the satyr descriptions that I gave from the book, sin and falsehood, that sounds like the game of the satyri, right? In Christianity and Islam, he is usually seen as either a fallen angel or a jinn who used to possess great piety and beauty, but rebelled against God, who nevertheless allows him temporary power over the fallen world and a host of demons. In Judaism, he is depicted as an evil inclination or an agent subservient to God. Now then, the sound of a shofar is believed to symbolically confuse Satan. I wonder, is this the horn of a satyr? What else? I wanted to find a description here, but we all know that. Oh, there we go. Horns, pointed ears. I'm assuming these are hairy kind of legs, large canines. It just seems to me that the description of Satan is very similar to the description of the satyri, or Pan, or Faunus. See that? Goat-headed horns. And naturally, I researched what else could port. Oh, there we go. That's the image I was looking for. See, horns, hairy legs because there are the hoops. And we can't see the erect penis, instead we see a caduceus. That's interesting. Anyways, I did research on whom else is portrayed with horns in mythology, really, because apparently that's what I'm dealing with nowadays. Now, we all know of Jupiter, who is not Saturn. Jupiter is the son of Saturn. And if you look closely, there's the Aquila. Or the eagle, which is portrayed on so many flags nowadays, or throughout history. Not to mention the staff, which is represented through Roman religion, which is not original Pelagian or Proto-Latin religion. It's the imposter. Anyways, if you go to Jupiter, there's a section about Numa. Faced by a period of bad weather endangering the harvest during one early spring, King Numa resorted to the scheme of asking the advice of the god by evoking his presence. He succeeded through the help of Picus and Faunus, whom he had imprisoned by making them drunk. The two gods, with a charm, evoked Jupiter, who was forced to come down to Earth at the Aventine. Remember Aventine Hell? Point being here, he was invoked to come to Earth realm by Picus and Faunus. Remember Faunus? So there's a direct reference to Faunus and Jupiter. More so, one of the epithets or titles of Jupiter is Jupiter Ammon, where he is equated with the Egyptian deity Amun after the Roman conquest of Egypt. Now, Jupiter Ammon, if you do a Google search, and for images, what do you see? What do you see? You see pictures of a male with horns. Male with horns. Male with horns. Male with horns. Now, if you go to, since it's mentioning Egypt now, and it's mentioning Amun, obviously you have to study Amun horns. And what do you know? Look at that, the ram-headed Amun. Look at that, Alexander the Great coin with horns. Amun, horns. And we all know the ram and the sheep in Egyptian mythology is portrayed everywhere. Right? Right. And if we just do a simple Amun search, the very first thing that appears is this statue, which shows a male figure and a goat's head. What does that tell you? Not to mention places like this right here. Look at that. So, I hope I have connected to you the fact that the satyrs, or the goat people from Greek mythology and Roman mythology, or Pan, or Faunus, or Satan, or Jupiter Ammon, or Amun from Egyptian mythology is the true Satan. Now, as you will understand later on, I'll provide the evidence. Christianity is based on this figure. In actuality, Christianity is the worship of Satan or Jupiter Ammon, because his rule is represented by the Roman Church, Roman rule, which rules to this day, or does it? How about that for our world being backwards? If you have insults, bring them on. I'm not offended, because what I just told you is absolutely insane. But here I have presented the proof, no opinions, purely connecting the facts. Next video should be, unless I have another thought, chapter 1, fully translated. Hopefully tomorrow night sometime. If not tomorrow night, the following night. Peace out, yo.